Bill Haston, Tulsa World. I am with recently retired and permanently heroic former, hey, it's true, former TPS athletic director Gil Cloud, who I used to see on an extremely regular basis. Now I don't see him as much and I miss it. So, and I remember one of the great perks of your retirement would be that you would get to see your granddaughter, who's a superstar softball athlete. You get to play quite a bit. Before we get into these topics, could you provide a little quick update on her spring and summer and how she's playing?
I tell you, she's had a great spring. She played at Briggs Middle School this last fall as a fourth grader, playing with the fifth and sixth graders. And it appears that she'll play with the seventh and eighth graders this next year as a fifth grader. But this spring, Bill, she is, I think she's 10-1 pitching. She's had 110 strikeouts in 21 innings. And she's hitting about 420. And her fastball is at 10 years old now, is 54 miles an hour. And consistently at 51, 52. So she's excited. They've had their last tournament, not this weekend, but next weekend. And then she goes to school ball, July 15th, practice starts. And she'll be playing up with them. So we'll be making that trek over to just outside of Tahlequah and Briggs to watch that. And and she played basketball, and she was going out for track, and I said, Kylie, what are you going to do in track? Because she's not gifted speed wise. And she said, well, I'm going to throw the shot because you don't have to run. So, it's one of those, but she's had a good spring. 110 strikeouts is just unbelievable.
It is unbelievable. So before I ask you about, I really wanted to talk with you about what I still consider to be, and in fact, more so now probably than I did even then, the miracle of the 2020 football season, and that we had one. But I wanted to ask you right quick for your reaction to this unbelievable flurry of high-profile transfers in high school football. Bixby quarterback moves to Owasso. A Jinx returning starting quarterback moves to Union, which I know really resonates with you as a former Union athletic director. Mm-hmm. Bartlesville starting quarterback moves to Union. A highly regarded California kid who this week visited Georgia as an incoming 9th grade athlete. He's at the University of Georgia this week, moved to Jinx a few days ago. More and more of this. And I'm just mentioning quarterbacks right now. I mean, there's tons of linemen and defensive backs and other guys making moves too. So do you, and I've gotten a lot of Facebook messages and emails saying, oh, high school football is ruined just like college football. I think this is an anomaly because it's really quite an endeavor for a whole family, Coach Cloud, to pack up and move to a new district, right?
You're exactly right. I think that was the key thing. That was one of the things I think that Kirk Frederick mentioned when he was asked about the move into Union. He said, now, we're not talking about a transfer. Right. This is a move-in. And there's a whole different set of rules for transfers and move-ins. And so it is a commitment. It is, I think, something that has manifested itself a little bit more with the media because of the college transfer portal. And I think it's become, well, we can do that. If all it is just moving, well, we'll just move. And
right.
We're more transient today than we used to be. We talked about open transfer. Tulsa Public Schools had open transfer before probably anybody in the state within the district. And I told Dr. Ballard, the late Dr. Ballard, that I'm for if a kid wants to go to a school because of an academic curriculum that they don't have at the school they're at. I 100% let them transfer. Now they still need to sit out a year. Well, they wouldn't transfer there. And I think that's the key. When I was at Union, we had probably in the 15 years, we had 4 or 5 families that just flat moved. We had 2 or 3 that faked a divorce, where the kid came with one parent and moved into a house in the district. And
Wow.
I mean, it was, and I say fake because it was interesting that when the eligibility was up, a reconciliation occurred. And, so these things have gone on for a long time. The sending school, has to sign off that there was no recruitment. The receiving school has to sign off as well. There's forms and documents that have to be filed with the OSSAA, and you keep them in your file in your office. You better be clean, and you better follow up with everything. And that's why, when I did go to Tulsa, the first hire I made was Mick Wilson to be the assistant AD for compliance, because I wanted to make sure we were going to go by the rules. I'd heard a lot of stories. I wanted to make sure that we were going by the rules that were established by the OSSAA, and we did. And I wanted everybody, all of our neighbors in the suburbs, to understand that we don't follow those rules, and we expected them to follow those rules as well. Right. And if we felt that there was a recruitment of a student athlete, we certainly would make the call to them first. That was my protocol. I would call that athletic director at that school and say, here's what's happened. Here's what we know. I want you to do something about it. If they didn't do anything about it, my next call was to David Jackson.
Now, maybe I'm naive. Probably I am naive. And so I'm thinking that this is going to be a rarity to have this kind of volume of difference-making players moving in one offseason. Do you think that that's the case, or do you think that there is some influence from the college level with regard to the freedom of movement, and these kids and families think, well, yeah, if we're disgruntled here, let's go there?
They want an advantage for their son or daughter, no matter what sport it is. I mean, it involves all the sports. So they want an advantage. And if they feel like the advantage is another school district, how much is that worth? Is that worth selling my house, moving locations, in some cases, moving states to be able to do that? That's a tremendous commitment that people make.
Yes.
But for an advantage for their kid. And people have done that. Bill, I had when I was at Union, I had a offensive lineman father call me one day, fairly affluent, wealthy, and he said he wanted to know where he could get buy blocking lessons for his son. I said, well, if he listened to Coach Tuttle, who's one of the best line coaches in the state, he'd be okay. Right. But everybody wants an advantage, and I think that's what they look at. That quarterback is gone. I'm going to move over there because I've got a chance to play.
Right. And now at Union, now there are 3 quarterbacks, all of whom have started either in 6A1 or 6A2. 3 of them. Yeah. Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Somebody's not going to be happy.
Well, chances are maybe one of those 3 won't even be there in August.
Could not be. After they go through 7-on-7 and see how everything shakes out, because 7-on-7 can show you that.
Right. Everybody was devastated in March of 2020. Everybody. When the basketball tournament was canceled, Booker T had a chance to repeat as 6A champion, didn't get a chance to play that tournament. And there's 6. How many schools were represented TPS in that state tournament? Girls?
5.
5. Yeah. So, and I remember David Jackson telling me that as a result of there not being basketball championships, that the association lost $1 million with regard to sponsorships and ticket revenue and all of it. So there was a real collective agreement, I'm sure, that we need to play football for a lot of reasons, for the psychological well-being of kids and families, and just to get us, kind of drag us through this. We need something to look forward to. So 2 years ago, right, like literally right now, you were on the front end, you and all the other ADs in the state were on the front end of preparing athletes and coaches to navigate their way through an unprecedented pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
And were there any at the beginning stages with all the distancing and all the cleaning measures and the temperature checks and the facility cleanings around the clock? I mean, did you ever catch yourself thinking, as much as I want football and as much as I know we need football, this is a tough go here, and this may not happen?
It was, we took it, Bill, that we needed to get our kids back in schools. They'd been gone since March. We'd had no off season. We had no spring sports. The spring sports devastated us. Our soccer is pretty good in Tulsa.
Right.
We probably had 15 or 20 kids that did not have an opportunity to showcase their senior year. And that was a total unfortunate. So the sense of urgency for us was to keep our kids protected, keep our coaches protected, but get back to school. And so in numerous meetings, I served on the district virus committee. We met every Monday morning and we go through the numbers. And that started back in April via Zoom. Nobody was in the office. We did not. We were the first office to go back fully in athletics. We came back in June because we were going to have kids in school. We were going to have off-season programs. We developed our own summer league basketball so that we knew the facilities they would be in would be ours and they would be cleaned. Our own summer league volleyball, so our kids wouldn't have to travel anywhere, get on buses. They would just show up at school. Our own 7-on-7. And then our weight and conditioning programs for all of our schools had protocols that we started establishing. I was looking at it this morning a little bit. I think I sent you some of them via email. They were phase 1, phase 2, and we would upgrade each time that we got to that point based on what the weekly count was on the virus.
I want to ask you this before our Zoom window closes on us. During the season itself, I thought there was even value in the weeks when games were postponed because kids at least had a practice to go to. And you know what I mean? There were still team activities on a daily basis. But are you like me? Do you reflect back on that year, that season, and think, I can't believe I can't believe we had football that year?
It was a challenge for us to make sure that we did. We had to go to 50% capacity in our stadiums. We had no attendance on our volleyball. It was just the teams would show up and play, and that would be it. It was very difficult. We did allow on senior night for the senior parents to come and watch their daughter play one last volleyball game at home. But all of those sacrifices that we made was for the mental health of our student athletes. And we kept all through the summer program. One of the things that we trained with our coaches and our athletic directors in the building was, hey, we're the guinea pig. We're coming back in the building. Nobody else is in the building except athletics. And we have got to do this right. And so, we had the protocol set up on our computers where my head trainer, coordinator of sports medicine, could check every day how many kids had a high temperature or how many didn't and how many didn't show up. That we had it was all logged on, and would get that data every afternoon. And so we knew exactly where we were with our kids. We had some quarantines when we got to the fall. We had a couple of football teams that had quarantine during the season. We had some volleyball teams. But we were very, very fortunate, I think, because we were diligent in how we trained our coaches and our athletic directors to administer the testing on a daily basis.
And think too, Coach, I better wrap it up before this window shuts on us. But your alma mater, Rogers, opened a new stadium that year. Yes. Can you imagine how much of a drag and a disappointment it would have been for that beautiful stadium to sit there dormant for a full year before you had live football there.
It would have been a shame. And, you know, we're really, really excited, as you know, because they're adding bleachers now on the other side and restroom. So it'll finally be finished. But yeah, it is a tremendous setting out there. I tell you, the East Central Gymnasium is going to be fantastic as well. And its accessibility is going to put it in a position to be a good host for the OSSAA.
Right.
With 44 and all that running right through there. So, you know, but it's for the kids to give them an out. You know, 99% of our kids don't play past this time. They don't go to the college level. So if we can make it a tremendous experience for them at the high school level in great facilities, then I think we owe that to them.
I wish we had more time. I wish you would come out of retirement long enough to get the dadgum state tournament pulled back up here away from Norman. It's just tragic. I understand why they did it, but I don't like it. I don't think anybody likes it.
That's an Oral Roberts problem.
Yeah, well, it's as it turned out. I mean, because I can testify, I was there. It's an everybody problem. That is not a good building for that event. It is not. But
no. But
we need state basketball.
Leaving the Mabee Center was a no-brainer for us for the Tournament Champions, based on the inhospitality that we received from them. And it wasn't Tony; it was above Tony. So.
No, that's right. No, it was, well, just so we don't leave the viewers in the dark here, it was related to the video board operation and some other stuff. But yeah. Coach, thank you very much. It's you know what? We should go to lunch sometime, right?
Should we? You know my number.
I do. If I didn't know your number, I wouldn't have texted you at 11 o'clock last night to ask you to do this. So
or sent me the link at 106.
Right. Oh, well, I did do that. You're right. Didn't wake you up, I hope.
No.
All right.
I always watch a couple of episodes of SVU before I go to bed. So
okay. Hey, Gil, thank you so much.
All right, Bill. Good to talk to you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.